My wife thought I was cheating on her, but when she found out what I was really hiding, she ran away from me like I was a murderer. Hi, my name is Dave, and today I'm going to share with you the weird method that turned me from a loser who couldn't perform in bed without a suicidal dose of drugs into a strong, powerful man who can please his woman 5 times a day without losing his strength for a second. I discovered this breakthrough method of reversing my ED after it almost destroyed my marriage and made me lose even the last shadow of confidence I ever had. But what shocked me most is that even my loving, caring wife, the woman who was faithful and kind to me all those years, turned her back on me when she realized our intimate life was compromised forever, even though I was doing everything in my powers to become the man she married to once again. So, if you think you can somehow waddle through life with ED while having your significant other by your side, let me break the news to you. Unless you reverse your ED right now, there is nothing in this world that will satisfy your partner the way she wants to. Not even the heart attack-causing pills that you're seeing advertised on TV every day. Now, I'm here to tell you that you don't have to take this anymore, because after 2 long years of research, testing, and sufferance, when even the most expensive drugs stopped working, I uncovered a natural method so simple and yet so efficient that it can give anyone who uses it long-lasting erections literally any time. And yet it's been hidden from your eyes for decades, while you've been force-fed dangerous pills and suffered humiliations no man should ever go through. I will show you exactly why regular treatments can make matters even worse in as little as 3 months and can lead you to permanent damage beyond repair. Why the most popular so-called alternative solutions are scientifically proven to cause severe side effects that can ruin your entire life. How there is solid evidence proving that low testosterone levels have absolutely nothing to do with your erectile dysfunction. And most important, why no one ever told you that there is a 100% natural method that not only helps you perform every single time without any help from drugs, but eliminates ED from your life, giving you full, long-lasting erections in just a matter of days. Over 78,659 people have already tried this method ever since I put this video up online, and they're now enjoying a satisfying personal life. Here are some of the hundreds of messages that I receive every day from them. Edward, a 36-year-old guy from Michigan, wrote me, "My God, this is a wish come true. I've been through everything you've been through, almost literally, just that I didn't come up with a solution, which is why I want to thank you deeply for not giving up. If it weren't for you, I'd be divorced right now, depressed and single. Thanks to your formula, I'm a new man today, a real man." Rosie is also enjoying her relationship to the fullest. She says, "I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me and my boyfriend. Both of us have been so frustrated because of his ED that we barely even touched each other. After just 3 days of your program, we haven't left the bedroom and we're closer now than we've ever been. It's like we've rekindled our entire relationship in just 3 days. George and Lucy sent me a very moving message. John, what you've done here isn't just helping thousands of men, but it's helping thousands of relationships and marriages from falling apart. Lucy and I are the first to admit it. For a couple of years after my ED started giving me troubles, Lucy and I were fighting 24/7. Then we just stopped talking to each other. We were just strangers sharing a bed. And yet none of us had the courage to talk about it because we both knew intimacy wasn't possible for us anymore. But then my best friend sent me your program. I was pretty skeptical, but I had literally nothing to lose at that point, so why not try it? It was fantastic. I felt this newfound energy all of a sudden, and I didn't even have to look down to know it had woken up. I was so happy. I just went to Lucy and kissed her and asked her to forgive me. Needless to say, the makeup was spectacular. I've never felt more virile in my life. And Lucy says she's more satisfied now than when we got married. What thrills me most about these messages is that I can relate to each and every one of them. As I said before, I'm Dave, and I started having ED 2 years ago. I have no idea what triggered it. I don't remember any injuries. I didn't exercise a lot at the time. I wasn't sick, and I don't even remember being overly stressed. But it happened, and it struck me like lightning. I woke up one morning next to my beautiful wife. She was feeling particularly loving that day, and she wanted to fool around a bit before leaving for work. God, I can't even tell you how much I love these mornings. They just make your whole day better. The problem was, parts of me didn't agree this time. Usually, I'd be ready to go in a matter of seconds. Now it took 20 minutes before we gave up, full of frustration and bottled up anger. But as my wife used to say to make me feel better, "Don't worry, honey, it happens from time to time." The problem was that from time to time quickly turned into most times, and then it stuck with always. After several failures in a row, my wife left the bedroom in tears, convinced that I didn't find her attractive anymore. In all our years of marriage, this never happened to me. And all of a sudden, not even the most passionate moments could make a difference down there. I wanted to go for it with all my being, and it was incredibly frustrating to see I had no control over my own body. And the worst part is that I had no idea why this was happening to me. My wife was deeply worried that it may be her fault, so I told her I was going through a very stressful period at the office, and that's why I couldn't perform. But while she seemed reassured by this explanation, I was desperate to find out what was really going on. I made an appointment with a doctor a friend of mine recommended. I've never felt more embarrassed in my life. Even though I knew he'd probably seen hundreds of men with the same issue, still, to me, this was the most humiliating experience ever. The doctor started with a set of questions. Are you stressed or depressed? Did you have any injuries lately? Do you go to the gym? Did you feel any unusual tensions in that area? Do you have regular intercourse? According to my answers, I should be performing like a Greek god. Nothing seemed to be wrong. And without even bothering to take any tests, he threw this question at me. Why don't you just start taking pills like everyone else does? I had to insist to get an explanation. And finally he told me all about my problem. The ED was strictly physical. It was not related to stress or to a temporary shock or anything else. It was a physical blockage. Normally, when you have an erection, your blood flow increases in the genital area and gets trapped inside your member. That's how you hold an erection for a long period of time. This natural process was somehow broken. Something was restricting blood from flowing in my genital area, making any attempt of erection impossible. My doctor explained this to me with a bored look on his face while I felt like my whole world was crashing down. I was never going to have an erection again. Everything I knew about myself as a man had suddenly faded, together with my once functional manhood. He pet me on the shoulder and told me to stop making such a drama out of it. There are millions out there in the same situation, and this can be easily fixed with a good old dose of pills. Apparently, I was supposed to be thrilled that I'd never be able to perform without drugs again. How was I supposed to tell my young, gorgeous wife that all her attention was useless without the little blue pill? Our relationship was already rocky ever since I started having ED episodes. And to tell you the truth, I was too proud to tell her my manhood was now dead and buried. So when I got home, I did something I've promised myself I would never do. I popped a pill in the bathroom and, minutes later, I went into the bedroom and swept her off her feet. I told her the work stress was finally gone and it was all back to normal. Everything went smoothly, and seeing my wife so happy and back in love with me convinced me I had done the right thing. So the next morning, I took a second pill, and then the morning after that, another one, and so on for the whole week. My wife was in seventh heaven, but I was in excruciating pain, literally. The pills worked great down there, but way up, my head hurt so bad I could barely do anything at work, not to mention the constant nausea and vertigo that left me crippled for hours on end. I was worried I might lose my job if things kept going this way, so I went back to the doctor to change my pills and get rid of the numbing headaches. But before I even finished asking for other pills, he cut my enthusiasm with the sharpest blade of all. Most of these pills can cause you headaches. If you can't stand it, I suggest you try something else. I was crushed. Without the pills, my marriage was over. With them, I would most likely get fired. I thought it was a dead end for me. But then my doctor started telling me about all these alternatives. There was the popular low-T therapy that costs like $2,000 per session. He told me a lot of men choose to invest in it, and some of them get results. Later I found out that some actually means less than 5% of the ones who try it. Not to mention that scientific studies revealed how low testosterone is one of the rarest causes of ED, and yet it's the first on the list of solutions that doctors shove down your throat. And what's worse is that low-T therapy was linked to an increased risk of blood clots and stroke, severe acne, and even breast enlargement. So not only does it work for just 5% of people, but it also makes you sick and repulsive. Now, if the so-called alternative to pills sounds insane, you should hear the other ones. Apparently one option is penile injection therapy, where you have to give yourself an injection in the penis just to get an erection. Or if that doesn't work, you can try intrauteral suppositories, where you have to shove a suppository up your penis every time you want to get intimate with your significant other. And if none of that works, then you have the good old surgery, which means getting your most sensitive part slit open and having a pump inserted in there. These were the amazing alternatives my doctor gave me. I was speechless. I had no idea if he was kidding or if he was serious, and I was way too afraid to ask. What man who ever walked the earth would find any of these options acceptable? Sure, many have probably tried them, because there was no other solution out there. I, for one, couldn't even stand the thought of trying any of these and stormed out of my doctor's office without looking back. And to this day, it's been the best decision I've ever made in my life. Because if I'd followed the rules and went for the regular treatments, I probably would have never discovered the natural way to reverse ED in just a matter of days, without any visits to the doctor or dangerous drugs that kill your body and mind with side effects. It took me 2 years to discover this simple method, but once I did, my life changed literally overnight in ways I couldn't even imagine. In just a couple of days, I went from the man who couldn't get it up if his life depended on it to the real man who could get a full, lasting erection any time of the day or night. I went from a broken marriage where my wife would barely even talk to me to the most satisfying relationship I could ever wish for. I got back my loving, happy wife, and she got back her virile, strong man she could trust and lean on. And all that with an easy method that you can do at home in just 7 minutes, without spending any money on overpriced pills or so-called natural Viagra that's even worse than prescription drugs. Now, there are dozens of studies that show that these natural pills are in fact huge scams, and you're actually poisoning yourself with such a high dose of toxic chemicals. It's illegal. The FDA has been trying to regulate these products for years, but the producers keep changing the labels and packaging to trick you into thinking you're getting a natural, safe alternative, when in fact you're ingesting a deadly dose of meds that could throw you on the edge of a heart attack before you even blink. Back then, I didn't know about all of this, so after I left my doctor's office, I decided to try these so-called healthy alternatives myself. I was on my own with no one to guide me. Not even my own wife knew about my problem, so I had to find a way to keep her satisfied without taking the pills my doctor prescribed me. So I looked on the internet to see what choices I was left with. The first thing I stumbled upon was the Chinese natural Viagra, the most popular solution available in the US. I didn't have a lot of time to waste, otherwise my wife would have noticed something was wrong again. So I instantly ordered a bottle, and the next day I was popping a pill and waiting for a miracle to happen. And oh, it did. In just a couple of minutes, I had a massive erection that lasted me for hours. My wife was even joking that she'd have a heart attack if I kept going longer. But the joke was on me this time. 3 nights later, I was in bed with my Sarah when suddenly my heart started pounding out of my chest and I couldn't breathe. I laid on my back trying to calm down, but my chest was hurting like 1,000 needles piercing through my skin from the inside out. My wife was worried sick, asking what was wrong with me, but I couldn't tell her about the pills. I told her I was very tired and went into the living room to sleep on the couch, pretending I needed peace and quiet. I couldn't close my eyes for a single second. Besides the blinding pain, I was once more left without any solutions. I couldn't risk taking unsafe medication again. I was scared of having a heart attack, and it wasn't just me being paranoid. Turns out a shocking number of men suffered heart attacks after taking ED pills, or started having severe heart problems. That friend of mine who recommended me the doctor also admitted to having chest pains and uncontrollable heart rhythm. But since there was no way he could perform without pills, he'd just take a 7-day break from them and then start all over again, hoping his heart wouldn't snap. By this time, I was downright depressed. But what really knocked me down was when I found my wife crying in our bedroom. She was crying so hard she couldn't even look at me. With a steel look on her face, she crushed our marriage in a split second. "You've been cheating on me for so long, I can't take it anymore. I'm leaving tonight." This was by far the worst misunderstanding we've ever had, and it was all my fault. I rejected her over and over again, making up excuses to avoid any sort of intimacy. And she thought I'd found someone else. I had to tell Sarah everything. Otherwise, I was going to lose the woman I loved. So I started telling her all about my ED, how it started, how I took pills every morning until I couldn't take those gruesome headaches anymore, how I almost got a heart attack that night, and how I finally quit medication when I realized nothing worked. I'd been incapable of getting an erection for almost 2 years, and unfortunately, that was just the beginning. Weirdly enough, I was more relieved than anything else when I finally got the burden off my chest. But my wife wasn't on the same page with me. She thought this whole thing was a big fat lie that I made up to hide that I was with another woman. She jumped into the car and drove as far away as she could from me, like I was a murderer. Now, if you're pitying me, please don't. Because that was the moment when I decided to take my life into my own hands. There had to be a way to fix my erectile problem without debilitating medication or surgery. And if there wasn't, well, I'd have to find one anyway. It was my last chance. So instead of feeling sorry for myself, I decided to do something before it was too late. I remembered how my doctor explained to me that erectile dysfunction happens because there's not enough blood going into the penis. No matter what caused this in the first place, be it a psychological problem or a physical one, the result is the same. Something blocks the blood flow to your penis, and without blood, there is no way you can get an erection unless you have an artificial pump inserted there. And that's how you end up addicted to pills. What they do is force the blood to go down there and lift your manhood right up. The problem with these pills is that they can mess up the blood flow in the rest of your body and increase the risk of a heart attack or cause you massive headaches. So I thought, what other way is there to keep a good, steady blood flow down there without making my heart run like a racehorse and my head pump with pain? It had to be something strong enough to fuel a full erection, but not so strong that it puts your whole body under pressure. I was sitting on our bedroom bed, trying to think. And that's when I remembered something Sarah used to say when she was trying to lose weight. She kept talking about this old diet book with special foods that helps you intensify your blood flow so you can burn fat faster. At that point, I was so desperate that I would have tried anything just to get my wife back. So I went to the kitchen, grabbed the book, and started reading all night. When I finished it, I realized that the battle was just getting started. I went straight to research and sending messages to the best nutritionalists I could find, trying to pick their brains on the subject. By the end of the day, I already had a selected list of special foods proven to help you with your blood flow. It was such a simple concept, and yet for so long, I've been poisoned with the idea that I depended on medication to fix my problem, when the solution was the most natural thing in the world. I started trying the foods on the list one by one to see which one worked better down there. As all nutritionists that I contacted explained to me, some of these foods may work better in the head area, some of them may help you get better blood flow in the feet, but some of them will surely work best on my genital area. All I had to do was test them and see which ones helped me the most. It was exactly like they told me. Every day I noticed different effects on different areas of my body. On one hand, I was thrilled that they actually worked. On the other hand, I was disappointed that they worked anywhere else but where I needed. But since I felt good and healthy, I kept testing different ingredients and different combinations, hoping to find the right one for my problem. While I kept testing day after day, just anxious to get results, one morning I received a call. It was my wife. She said she was sorry about the fight we had and she'd like to come home. I told her all about my new experiment, and even though she was skeptical about it, we decided to give our marriage a second chance. We had a great conversation, then one thing led to another, and we went to the bedroom to celebrate our makeup. I was so excited about being intimate with her after such a long time, but down there, everything was fast asleep. Not a single twitch. I got so mad I grabbed the alarm clock from the nightstand and I threw it against the wall. Thank God Sarah was there to calm me down and encourage me to keep looking for the right formula. Now, I don't know what happened, but next morning while I was having breakfast, it just hit me. And all of a sudden, I got a massive erection, something I hadn't felt in nearly 2 years. Not even when I was in college. Excited as I was, I went straight to my wife, grabbed her in my arms, and locked the bedroom door. We spent all day in there. You can imagine the joy in her face and the relief that it finally happened after all these years. It was extraordinary. That kept me testing even more combinations of all the ingredients that helped me with blood flow in the genital area. The effects were surprising. Sometimes I'd get a spontaneous erection that would fade in a couple of minutes. Sometimes I'd manage to keep it for hours. Then one day, the most incredible thing happened. It was this weird combination of foods that gave me a full 1 hour erection. I was lying in bed with Sarah and she was caressing me, holding me tight next to her body. When suddenly, I felt it waking up again. I was so afraid I might scare the erection off, I barely breathed. But this one seemed even bolder than the first one. I leaned onto Sarah and showed her what her man can do. She was just as exhilarated as I was, but she was trying not to get her hopes up and then face disappointment as had happened before. But right after dinner, where I mixed the same ingredients I used in the morning, I felt it happening again. I just looked at Sarah changing her clothes to get into bed, and before I knew it, it was already up and ready to go. A third time in a row. That never happened, not even before I started my ED episodes. I felt more virile than I've ever been, and Sarah told me later that night I hadn't just got my sexual appetite back, but I was a brand new man, stronger, better, and more long-lasting. Next morning, I repeated the routine, used the same ingredients in the exact same amounts, and also added a few new ones that was said to help maintain a good, steady flow all throughout the day. Wow, the results were unbelievable. I spent the whole day in bed with my wife, and I felt like I could never run out of battery. I could get a massive erection and maintain it long enough to please her every single time. And then I'd be ready for a new round just minutes later. When I woke up, Morningwood was already greeting me from down there, and it's been there constantly. Day by day, ever since I started taking my special formula. Now, I don't even use it anymore. I sometimes mix some of the ingredients with my meals simply because they taste good, but I don't have to follow the routine anymore. In fact, after just a few days of using this method, my blood flow was full and steady, and my erections were already strong and long-lasting. And the best part is that I didn't even have to wait days to be able to perform. It took less than 48 hours to have my first full erection, and the next few days I started having 2 or 3 of them that could last up to 2 hours. Honestly, I couldn't do this, not even when I was in my 20s, and my wife should know that better than anyone. According to her, our intimate life has never been more satisfying or more intense than it is now. One night, she was telling me how happy she was with our newly found intimacy and how discovering this natural method was the best thing that could ever happen to us, and that's when she came up with the most amazing idea in the world. What if I helped other couples just like us save their relationships by sharing my method? It was brilliant. Now that I figured out a way to get rid of ED for good, 100% naturally and easily in just a few days, I should share it with all the men out there who are struggling with this vicious problem. No one should ever have to go through the humiliation of not being able to perform in bed, or put up with the massive headaches and vertigo those toxic drugs give you, or risk a heart attack every time you have to increase the dose. And most important, no one should have to quit the right to be a real man, no matter the age. Because ED is not a normal thing, even if you're over 50. Sure, your sexual appetite may decrease, but you should still be able to have an erection. That's a sign of health more than anything else. Besides, it's hard to feel like the man of the house when you can't perform the most basic manly job and keep your partner and yourself satisfied and happy. So I immediately started working on Sarah's idea and wrote down everything about this method. how I discovered it, what ingredients do you need, how to mix them, when to take them, and how, what results you should expect, and how you can improve them with different simple tricks I discovered along the way. I wrote them down on a notebook, and after thinking it through, I decided to cheat the system and share this formula the only way that would allow me to get this message to as many people as possible. I put together an easy-to-follow formula that you can use yourself at home in just a few minutes a day to naturally reverse your ED. I called it the Get Hard Again Special Formula. All you need to do is get the ingredients on the list that contain special amino acids and enzymes to increase your blood flow, and then follow the simple instructions to mix them and consume them according to the plan. That's it. This will not interfere with your diet in any way. You can keep eating whatever you like, as much as you like, and you won't need to add any pills or alternative therapy. It only takes 7 minutes per day and has absolutely zero side effects. Plus, you'll start seeing and feeling the first results in as little as a few days, and once the full effects set in, you can be sure that they will last you for years to come. You see, unlike regular treatments, the effects don't just go away after a few hours, forcing you to keep taking pills every time you want to get intimate with your partner. This method is 100% natural, and it doesn't just offer a solution to your ED problem, but it goes straight to the root cause and eliminates it completely. So we put together this website and started sharing the video everywhere I could, with whatever resources I had left. But what chance could I start knowing I'm battling against the huge pharma companies who invest millions of dollars only in promoting their products? We're talking about a $4.3 billion market. Over 150 million men worldwide are addicted to toxic pills, injections, suppositories, and pumps. And my simple, natural method could help them all eliminate ED from their lives once and for all. Well, I wasn't going to sit back and let them win. I decided to go big. So I asked a friend of mine to help me with crunching the numbers and coming up with a way to spread the word even more. At first, he told me that I should charge each person $950 for this formula, if I want to keep this website up on the internet and cover all the costs of sharing this video to as many people as possible. I told him that's not acceptable because I'm not looking to get rich. I only have two goals: help as many people as possible get their lives back in the shortest time possible, and also help them quit their toxic addiction to unhealthy pills with a long list of horrific side effects. So I asked my friend to give me a starter price, the smallest amount that could keep the website going for a while before I have to raise it to a normal market value. He said the low limit was $95, but I still wanted to push it down even more. So after arguing for a couple of hours, we finally slashed all costs to the bone and reached the lowest amount possible. So if you want to try my natural method of reversing your ED starting today, you can get your own copy now for just $39.17 when you click on the Add to Cart button below. That's the final price, calculated right down to the decimal. So, if you want to reverse your ED once and for all in just a few days, then hit the Add to Cart button right now, and you'll be instantly redirected to our secure order page where you don't have to worry about a thing, not even your privacy. Because even though the program is called Get Hard Again, it will never say that on your credit card statement. So you can rest assured that no one will ever find out what you purchased. We take your privacy and security very seriously, so you can rest assured everything is as discreet and safe as possible. And just to see how serious I am about this formula, I'm willing to give you a no questions asked money back guarantee. I am that confident that this will work for you. Over 78,659 people and counting have already used this formula. Once you try it yourself, you should have your full first natural erection in just a couple of days. Then, in the following week, you'll be able to enjoy 2 to 3 long-lasting erections every day, whenever you want to get intimate with your partner. That means you'll never ever have to go through another moment of humiliation and frustration again. No matter what caused your ED, you will be able to perform anytime you want 100% naturally, without any help from pills, injections, or suppositories. All you need to do right now is to click on the Add to Cart button below, and you'll be redirected to our secure order page, where you can make the order in complete privacy. Once you finish your order, you'll get instant access to the method, even if it's 5 a.m. Just click the button below, and you'll get the full formula with detailed instructions right now. In just a few seconds, you are getting the full ingredients list, step-by-step instructions for the 7-minute daily routine, and personal tips and tricks that will make the formula work even faster and better than expected. I also have an extra surprise for you. Together with the method, you'll get instant access to a 24/7 customer service team ready to answer any questions you may have. They have been especially trained to help you out no matter what problem you may have encountered. The formula is already designed to be as simple and time-saving as possible. But if you order right now, you'll have a full team of experts at your disposal to help you out with anything you may need. So go ahead and get back what is rightfully yours. There's a copy of Get Hard Again waiting for you right now, and it's just one click away. Think about it for a second. In just a couple of days from now, you can regain your full manhood naturally without spending a single dime on those toxic drugs and without ever worrying about getting humiliated again. Just by using your own regained virility, you'll finally be able to claim what you've lost: your dignity, your confidence, and your woman's pleasure. No more embarrassing moments, no more stress and sleepless nights, and no more money wasted on risky treatments that put your health in danger. And here's the best part. If you order Get Hard Again right now, by tomorrow night, you could be able to satisfy your woman naturally for the first time in who knows how long, without needing any pills at all. You'll be able to feel like a real man again, capable of satisfying her every wish and desire, and show her what you're really made of. That person can be you, and in just a matter of days, you'll be able to have full erections anytime you want, and maintain them for as long as your woman wants to, without losing strength for a single second. Your wife might not even know what you've done to get so virile all of a sudden, but she'll be so happy to get her man back. She'll be eternally thankful to you. You've got absolutely nothing to lose. It's a natural method. You can try at home in complete safety, and you don't even have to worry about your investment, because you're protected by a full money-back guarantee. Your moment is now. Don't waste it. Get your copy of Get Hard Again, and in just a matter of seconds, you can start reversing your ED without pills, without stress, without risks. This is the moment when you let nature do its job and let it destroy your ED effortlessly, just by mixing the most powerful foods and superfoods in your daily meals, and watch your intimate life grow stronger by the day without any work from your part. Just sit back and relax and enjoy that amazing moment when you feel your manhood come back to life again. It is possible, and if you start trying this method now, it will happen to you in as little as a few days from now. Without putting in any effort, you'll get your intimate life back naturally, and you'll be able to perform better and longer than ever without having to take another little blue pill in your life. I've done everything I could for you. Now it's all up to you. You're one click away from getting your life back. Just hit the big Add to Cart button below and be the real man you're longing to be. Don't miss this chance. You have absolutely nothing to lose but the constant humiliation and suffering you've been putting up with for too long. Hit the button now, in as little as a few days, a new man will be rising from the ashes. You can be that man effortlessly if you just give this method an honest, risk-free try. So go ahead and order it now. You'll be thanking me later, after you're done pleasing your woman the way she deserves. I can't wait to hear about your results. Now enjoy your special offer right after you click the Add to Cart button below. Still here? Great. I'm happy you're interested in reversing your ED naturally, and I want to help you make an informed decision. So let's recap the most important things about the Get Hard Again special formula. It's so easy for you to decide if this method is for you or not. Here are the most frequent questions I get and my detailed answers. How does this method work exactly? The key to getting and maintaining an erection is a full, steady blood flow in the genital area. If something disrupts this flow, it's impossible to get an erection, try as you might. Regular treatments, such as the little blue pill, force blood to rush into the penis, so that you artificially get an erection for a couple of hours. The problem with these pills is that they only last for a little while, and they also come with a huge list of potentially deadly side effects. This natural method here has the same good effects as ED pills, but has 3 major advantages. It has no side effects, and it's 100% natural. All you need to do is get the ingredients I listed in Get Hard Again, follow the simple instructions, and in as little as a few days, you can get your first natural erection. What am I getting in the Get Hard Again program? Inside the program, you'll find the full list of foods and superfoods that contain all the amino acids and enzymes you need to include in your routine. The list is generous enough for you to choose the foods you prefer and eliminate any dislikes you may have. You can be sure the formula will work just as good no matter what you choose from the list. The second part of the program consists of a few simple instructions you need to follow every day to get massive, long-lasting erections anytime you want. The instructions are crystal clear, so you can get everything done in just 7 minutes or less with almost no effort at all. When will I see the results? You may get a natural erection in as little as a few days, although some people reported their first visible results in even less time. It is advised to continue using this method for at least 2 weeks to get the best results. But you can continue it for as long as you want to. There is no time limit and no side effects. What are the terms of your guarantee? When you order the Get Hard Again special formula, you'll be automatically redirected to our secure order page where you'll instantly get the money-back guarantee. From that very second on, you have complete money protection for a full year, even if the program may give you the results you want in just 2 days. If at any moment you decide Get Hard Again isn't for you for whatever reason, you can send me an email and I'll give you all your money back. I will not ask any questions. I'll just give you a full refund and thank you for trying this method. So there's no risk for you whatsoever. You can give it a try right now. Question: I want to give Get Hard Again a try. What do I do? It's all simple. Just click on the Add to Cart button and you'll be redirected to our secure order page. After you finish your order, you get instant access to Get Hard Again, even if it's 5 a.m. Just download the program and get ready to reverse your ED effortlessly. Is that all I should know? These are the most important things you need to know about the program. If, however, you have any other questions or matters you want to discuss, don't hesitate to contact our expert support team. They are happy to help you with anything you may need after you order the product in perfect safety and security, protected by the guarantee. Click the Add to Cart button below, and in just a few seconds, you'll have everything you need to reverse your ED and enjoy your life to the fullest.